want you to clear your minds and think for a second. When you imagine a nurse, what do you see? Does it look like this? How about this? Or what about this?
When you see a man in scrubs, what do you think? According to the data we collected from our survey, words like doctor, nurse, or health professional, as well as adjectives like hardworking, dedicated, or intelligent, were repeatedly used to describe males who wear scrubs. From these answers, we see that the surveyed population interpreted males in scrubs as doctors instead of nurses. So why is this the case? Much of our surveyed population participates in the preconceived gender constructions regarding males in the nursing profession. In society today, media depicts men in scrubs as doctors. We see through shows like Grey's Anatomy that men are portrayed as masculine and intelligent, while there are nearly no shows that depict male nurses in a positive representation. Overall, through media, an underlying message that males should be doctors instead of nurses is promoted.
Question 2. Have you ever seen a male nurse being represented in the media? If so, what was the media source? Was it positive or a negative representation? We received from this question were interesting. While most said yes, I have seen male nurses represented in the media, it wasn't typically a male nurse they saw. Common TV shows such as Grey's Anatomy, The Good Doctor, The Resident, and Scrubs were among the most common answers we received. While it's true there are probably male nurses within these shows, they are not the main focus. Most survey participants focused on actors such as George Clooney, Matt Zerchi, Freddie Highmore, and Patrick Dempsey as their positive representations. All of these men represented what our society deems as a prime example of a doctor. Smart, sophisticated, and extremely attractive were all common themes of participants' responses in terms of positive representations. However, these are not male nurses. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, only about 9% of all nurses in the United States are male. In recent years, this number has slowly begun to rise, but it is still not enough. Question 2. Do you believe there are any stereotypes facing male nurses? If so, can you name any? When the media does finally show male nurses, it is never really in a positive aspect. Take this clip from Jay Roach's 2000 comedy classic, Meet the Parents.
Hey, look who's up!
Hi.
It must be Greg.
Hello.
Oh, look, somebody had a little visit from the hair fairy.
Nice do.
Hey.
I'll do the intros, Greg. This is my sister, Debbie.
Hi.
Oh, the bride-to-be.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
And her fiance, Dr. Bob.
Oh, you call me Bob. MD.
These are his parents, Linda Banks. Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet
And
you.
the world
Famous plastic surgeon, Dr. Larry.
Oh, now cut that out.
You know, Greg's in medicine too, Larry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What field?
Nursing.
That's good. No, really, what field?
Nursing.
As you just saw, the media thinks male nurses are laughingstocks, just because of what they do. They represent male nurses as not being smart enough to be doctors, or just not masculine enough to do it. The media also makes male nurses out as not being able to do their jobs as effectively as their female counterparts. Take a look at this clip from the episode Pilling Them Softly from Family Guy.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Peter. Your life's not over yet.
Come on, it's not like I can go back to school at my age. I'll never be a doctor. The best I could hope for is a male nurse who's probably killing all his patients. Well, I'm going home.
Griffin, you have another 8 hours on your shift. Now, what about your patients?
They all died with dignity, God bless them.
As you just witnessed, the media is shining a negative light onto male nurses. They depict males as not caring about their patients at all, even having enough disregard towards their well-being to kill them just to go home early. While this is meant to be funny, it casts a doubt on male nurses in the public eye. I know for me especially, this is hurtful. As a future male nurse, I want my future patients to not be afraid of me. I want them to look at me not as a man, but rather a caring individual who will do everything I can to take care of them. Question 3. Do you believe that men are not as effective in a nursing role compared to their female counterparts? Why? The results we received from this question were very interesting. While we believed that we would see more negative results coming from our participants, it wasn't the case. Take a look at these graphs. When asked, how do you feel about male nurses? 65% of our survey participants said very positive, 27% said positive, and only 8% said neutral. None of them said negative. When asked, would having a male nurse make you uncomfortable? Only 10% of our survey population said yes, whereas the other 90% answered either no or it doesn't matter. Lastly, when asked, do you believe male nurses face discrimination? 43% of our participants answered yes, 21% answered no, and 36% answered I don't know. These results show that while the idea of male nurses is becoming more positive, there is still a negative stigma surrounding males as nurses. In October of this year, a study was conducted in a Ghana teaching hospital. The study focused on males and the interpretation made by patients among them. The end results showed that male nurses were actually highly favored by patients rather than their female counterparts. This makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Since males are the minority, we have a lot to prove. We do not want to jeopardize our career and standing by not doing our jobs to the best of our abilities. Take a look at this news clip.
A grim warning tonight after reports of abuse in a North Carolina nursing home.
3 employees there are now charged with creating a senior fight club with dementia patients.
CBS 17's Amy Cutler got a hold of the state's report into this facility. She is live at the health department with those findings and reaction to them. Amy.
Yeah, Angela, there is a lot to dig into here. That facility, the Danby House, can no longer accept any new admissions. This state report into that facility, some 82 pages long, outlines numerous problems. Marilyn McKee, Tanasia Tyson, and Deshaun Jordan are charged with assault, accused of setting up a fight club among the elderly dementia patients they were supposed to be caring for at the Danby House. It's an assisted living and memory care facility in Winston-Salem.
So a lot of things gone wrong. Primarily, it's lack of accountability from the top down.
Nancy Ruffner is a board-certified patient advocate and owner of Navigate NC. She tells me she's familiar with the case.
They didn't deliver training. There were people promoted into positions that shouldn't have been.
Her claims verified in the state's latest inspection report, which we obtained a copy of. It found numerous deficiencies in training and documentation. The Winston-Salem Police Department began investigating back in June when they say they received a tip about elder abuse. DHHS called in to help. The Danby House says the 3 suspects were terminated at that time. They write additional staff training and a more rigorous vetting process for all new and existing employees has been implemented. Danby House is owned by Affinity Living LLC. On their website, they say they're the 4th largest provider of Alzheimer's and memory care.
Most staff persons know which patients have eyes on them. They can go in, be seen, have plan of care meetings. There's a number of things, and show up unannounced.
Plenty of good advice there. Now, the Danby House has submitted a plan of correction according to the state. The next step is for the state to go in unannounced to do a follow-up inspection. At this point, that has still not been done. Live in Raleigh, Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
After watching it, what did you think? Sure, it was 3 female healthcare providers running the illegal club. But did a little part of you just imagine an elderly Tyler Durden in this care facility? Or did you see Ben Stiller's character from Happy Gilmore?
What I can do, I can take extra special care of that young lady over there for nothing. Okay, I appreciate that. Have a nice afternoon.
Sir, could I trouble you for a glass of warm milk? It helps put me to sleep.
You could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Now you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Oh, dear.
If If you didn't, good for you. You're understanding the message we're trying to convey. If you did, you are realizing the problem we are presenting. While females were responsible for this, it is and was still males who receive the negative image in the eyes of the public. People associate violence, anger, and greed with males most of the time. In some cases, yes, males display these tendencies when put in a position of power. However, it is those individuals who give a bad name to the honest, hard-working men who are just trying to do their job the best they can. Male nurses are not the problem. It is the bad apples amongst us that give the public a sour interpretation of us. We do not want to hurt people. We want to help them. That is why we entered this field. We knew we could be effective and helpful in this role. It is now time for the public to finally embrace it.
Throughout our script, we explained how men are being stereotyped in the nursing profession. When a male says he is a nurse or wants to be a nurse in the future, he is usually laughed at or made fun of. We saw an example of this in the Family Guy clip. Brian is telling Peter to not be so hard on himself when Peter says he wants to go back to school at his age. Peter says he will never be a doctor because of how old he is, and the best thing he could be is a male nurse. For this survey question, do you believe there are stereotypes facing male nurses? If so, can you name any? Our survey population responded positively, describing that men are looked down upon when they are nurses. Overall, although there are still gender discriminations regarding males in nursing, it should not stop an individual to pursue this career. Nursing is empowering for an individual who enters the field, and therefore, whether male or female, one should not be looked down upon or judges for pursuing.